guys, this is Up with the Tea. I'm Jamel, and I have my special guest, Leah the Lioness Queen. And today, we both have two topics. I'll start off with mine. Last week, we talked about Cardi B throwing a microphone at her fan. Well, we have some news on that. Actually, she threw it at the wrong person, and they got hit in the head with the microphone. And also, someone's selling it on eBay, the microphone that she threw. Leo, what do you think about that?
I think that we look at it now. Well, I look at it now from a different perspective because we finally found out exactly what happened with the young lady who threw the water on her. We ended up finding out that Cardi B actually asked for people to throw water on her. Now, my opinion is that when it comes to the particular young lady that she threw the microphone at, I still am not clear exactly why her water throwing was different from anyone else's. I don't know whether she said something or what. But I still stick with, well, I'll say this. I think a little different now. Since we found out that Cardi B did ask people to throw water on her, she can't really be upset if somebody throws it a little different than the other person because you asked for it. And then for the fact that her microphone is up for auction. I think that is really hilarious. Do you remember how much they are asking for the microphone?
I can't really recall, but I know it's a lot of money. I mean, like 99,000, I think. It's
Oh,
a lot
that's
of
what it
money.
got up to. Because I remember when you first mentioned it to me that they had it up for auction. Remember, you said that it started off at 30K. And you mean to tell me that it has risen to almost $100,000 right now?
Yep. And also about the second video that we found out, I think that it could be placed in different time period because what I think is that when the fans threw the water first, Cardi B got mad, threw the microphone. After that, maybe then she starts to make a joke out of it and ask her fans to throw the water at her. What do you think about that?
You know what? That's an interesting perspective. I didn't think about it like that. That's smart that you thought about it like that. That may have been what happened. Maybe she did decide to, after she lost, her temper, maybe she decided to go ahead and try to make light of the situation. So you are correct that maybe the incident itself is maybe out of sequence because the media can lie and people can put their own spins on things. And then we do have to remember that there are a lot of people who do not like Cardi B. So I think that's interesting that you thought about it like that. Can you answer why? What made you think of that?
Because it just didn't make sense about how she gonna ask people to throw water on her, but then get mad when um when she when sorry how she gonna get mad at people when they throw water at her if she asked to do it. And also, when the first video came out, it looked like she was standing to her left, which would be alright. And when the second video came out, it looked like that she was still on that side and she was walking back, I think. So maybe it was, and so that's why I thought it could be that she tried to make a joke out of it. And also, she always tried to be funny.
That is true. But let me ask you this because I remember the first time that we spoke about it, you had said that a lot of celebrities are getting upset about people disrespecting them at their shows and throwing things on stage. And you said that they have a right to fight back. Now, let's twist what your perspective is and say, what if the way that it is shown, the new direction that is shown, what if she really did asked people to throw water, and then all of a sudden she decided to get an attitude. What would you say to Cardi B about the way that she handled it?
Well, I think that she didn't have to throw a microphone at them because that was not really that necessary. She could have just cussed them out because throwing a whole microphone at them could have really damaged them and could have ended up with them being in the hospital. And
Which
also,
could which could also bring lawsuits.
you're right. And also, she could have another lawsuit on her because she didn't throw the microphone at the wrong. I mean, she didn't throw the microphone at the right person.
That's good. I'm glad that you brought that up because it was reported that the person that she threw the microphone at was not the actual young lady who threw the water on her. And so I know that young lady is actually planning on suing Cardi B, and Cardi B did also get some charges due to this incident. So we need to report that as well. Do you feel like she deserves it?
Um, Maybe because again, throwing the microphone might have been over the top, but also it just kind of been an accident because she wasn't thinking at that moment. She just reacted like a reflex.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I think we've wrapped up this particular topic excellently. Why don't you present your next topic to the people?
Okay, the next topic is about I think Friday. Cenat got arrested and they let him out yesterday.
What exactly did he get arrested for? Do you remember?
So what happened was him and a YouTuber that I know, well, personally know this person. They did something in I think New York on the street. Like they had a bunch of people crowded around like this bus or van that they were in, and I think people started to get violent, and I think that's why the police had to get involved with it. I think then that's uh, the reason that they arrested Cenat.
Well, yes. What happened was, of course, we know, and some people should know, that Kai Cenat is a very, very popular Twitch streamer and also a YouTuber. I believe on YouTube he has one channel that has like 4 million subs, and he has another channel I think that has 1 million, but he is very popular on Twitch. And pretty much what he did was he put out an announcement on social media that he was going to be in a particular part of New York. I believe that is where he is originally from. And so his goal was to give out 300 PS5s, game systems, to his fans, like a way of giving back to his community where he grew up. But when he actually appeared there, it was way more fans than what he bargained for. And like you said, they started to become unruly to where the police had to be called. They were even throwing things at the police. One person also ended up shooting themselves in the hand. They were harassing street vendors, fighting. It was just a bunch of stuff going on. And so I don't even believe that Kai Cenat was even able to give away even one PS5 because it just got to be so much. And so, because of the fact that this was not something that was planned, the police ended up taking him in. And I think he actually is getting charged with some misdemeanors. Like you said, he did get arrested, but they did let him go. But I think he may be facing some more. fines and stuff like that. That's all I've heard so far. So my question to you is, do you think that he handled it the right way as far as the way he put out the announcement?
I don't really think so because I think that he could have done it at like a certain place and not in the middle of a New York street. And also, he could have had like security guards or police with him so people would be more calm and not act out that way. What do you think?
I agree with you. I don't think that he had bad intentions. Was it poorly executed? Yes. But what I do know is that sometimes people, even when they're popular, sometimes they underestimate the way that they should move in regards to their safety. Because even though you may have a lot of people following you on social media, you have to also put into consideration that a lot of those people, even though they follow you, they may not necessarily be a fan of yours. They may just be following you in order to be nosy. So you cannot think that everybody that supports you is really supporting you for the right reasons. He should have, like you said, got in contact. Let First of all, let the state of New York know. I'm quite sure it would have been easy for him to get in touch with the right people because of the fact that he is a big person. And he should have let them know. They could have planned it out, had some security things in place, not only for his safety, but for other people's safety, because New York is already a huge, busy place. It's already a lot of buildings, a lot of people. And so him doing that was not smart. He could have did it in a much better way so that people would not get hurt, and he would not basically make the police department, the NYPD, upset and put himself on the radar. It's just so many more things that could have happened to where, people could have actually lost their lives on top of already people being hurt. And so I don't think that he meant for it to happen, but you have to just be smart when you are in a certain position. What do you think about what I just said?
I think you're right because he definitely could have did it in a different way. Like he could have did like where he did like a competition and the 300 fans they got a private emails telling them where to go. Like why did he release it um publicly and not expect more than 300 people to come?
Yeah, I'm not sure why he was thinking that anyway, too. It's like you have over 4 million subscribers on one platform, not counting all the other platforms that you are on. So I don't know why he thought that it would just be 300 people. I just feel like he should have did it. He should have just thought smarter. Um, and that's just simply it. Do you feel like he deserves jail time for this, though?
Um, I don't think he deserves jail time because, like you said, it was a real accident. He wasn't expecting for that to happen, and um, he thought of what was gonna happen, but he wasn't like really thinking in reality. He was just expecting 300 people to come out, be friendly, not do anything off, just get the PlayStations and go. So I don't think it really was his fault
Hmm.
because he didn't like really think it out that well. But also, again, he could have did it in a different way.
Agreed. Agreed. I definitely agree. But yeah, I don't think he deserves jail time either. I think that he should get a huge fine. And I
Right.
think that he needs to understand the power of social media. Social media is very, very powerful. So, he could have got hurt because remember, they showed footage of people being on top of his car. He had to be lifted, away from these so-called fans that supposedly love him. And I feel like if they really loved him, they would have conducted themselves in a better way. Now, let me ask you this before we move on to the next topic. Say, for instance, if something like that happened here, if you were on social media, and I know you like Mr. Beast, if Mr. Beast had put out a thing that there was about to be a giveaway, would you trust going, knowing that there's a possibility there's going to be a whole bunch of people? Would you put yourself in that position?
This might sound like the wrong idea, but I think I would go. But I would just try to go there and stay mostly away from like people that look a little bit suspicious. And I probably wouldn't be there the whole time. I would probably stay for maybe an hour, say hi to Mr. Beast, take a picture with him, and then probably leave after he's finished doing whatever he gonna do. Because I know that some people like him, some people don't, and that some people will go there trying to start something. And I think it's best that I would probably just um stay there while he does what he does, and then leave.
I understand. I understand. Okay, so I'm going to introduce a topic, and actually, I think this is going to be our final topic. And the reason why I decided to make it our final topic is it is kind of heavy. Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I want you to give your honest opinion because this is kind of like a adult heavy topic. But there was a situation that went down yesterday, I believe, in Montgomery, to where there was a fight, a huge fight that happened. And it started out with some Caucasian people attacking a security guard, I believe he was. It was some type of boating. It was out by the water. And a whole bunch of Karens and Kens decided to attack this one black guy. And so after they had this fight go on, some other black people came and basically retaliated, basically took up for the black guy that got jumped by a whole bunch of Karens and Kens. Now, let me ask you, are you aware of what Karen and Kens are?
Yes, I am. Karens are typical people who are very entitled and think that they can do anything and expect for people to think what they think and do what they want them to do. And I was not aware of this story until you just brought it up to me today. Um, so I think that the Karens and Kens not have to do that. And I would like to know the reason why they chose to do that.
Well, also too, first of all, the way that you described Karens and Kens, I think it was excellent. Another aspect to it is, and I know this is heavy, but we have to talk about this because this is a real world issue, is Karens and Kens are also usually racist towards black and brown people. Before I move on to the next point of this topic, which is very heavy, have you ever experienced a Karen?
Not currently yet. If I did, there'll be a little issue, a very big issue, a very big issue if they ever came up to me. But I have not had, no Karens have bothered me or tried to.
Okay, so again, the Karens and Kens, I think what happened was the security guard told them they had to move or something. Or I think they missed their boat, something to where they were late. Okay, if I'm getting it correct. And because the black guy was trying to tell them that they could not, they had missed wherever they were supposed to go, they got upset with him and started to yell. And then next thing you know, they surrounded him and they started to jump on him. Another black guy then came to his rescue. And then next thing you know, a whole bunch of other black people decided to retaliate against the group who had jumped the black guy. What I want to ask you is this. We're going to put it in a school setting, even though you know that me and your dad teaches you not to, first of all, to accept all people for who and what they are, regardless of color, or creed. But say, for instance, if this happened and you were there, say it was a bunch of your peers or something, and you had a whole bunch of Caucasian people who jumped one black kid. If you were standing there, how would you handle that?
What I would do is I would mostly try to stay out of it and probably go get an adult. But if I currently could not get an adult, I would probably just watch what happened so I can know everything that happened. Then finally get an adult and tell them exactly what I saw so they could know who started and what happened. That's what I would probably do. I'll probably just try my best to stay out of that fight.
What if there was no one around and it was like six of them jumping him and hurting him real bad? Would you still stand there or would you jump in? And you can give your honest answer.
I would feel like I would have to jump in just to make sure that student would be okay. I mean, it's really not, it wouldn't be my responsibility, but I would just want to help him out because you'll know what because six students could really hurt just one person. So I would try my best to get him away from that, or I might would have to um have them catch some hands.
So they would have to catch some hands. That's your honest answer.
Honest.
Okay. Well, I pray that that situation never happens. But all I can say is that honestly, if that did happen and you had to throw some hands, even though I don't encourage you to throw hands, but if you had to throw some hands, you wouldn't get too much of a punishment from me.
Okay, I accept that answer.
Okay, well, this was a great show. This is episode 2 of Up with the Tea podcast, and I think it went great. Do you have any last remarks before you end out the show?
Please like and subscribe to Lil Linus Queen, of course, and just keep up with the team because there will be some interesting news every episode. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.